the money you never got to keep. Your salary arrives, and within minutes, everyone seems to have a claim on it. Your landlord, your bank, your phone company, your subscriptions, your car, your favorite delivery app, your insurance, your credit card, your lifestyle. And somewhere near the bottom of that very long list is you. This is how most budgets quietly work. You earn money, you pay for your life. You spend a little more, and then you tell yourself that whatever survives at the end of the month will become savings. Sometimes there is something left, sometimes there isn't. But either way, your financial future has been given the weakest position in the entire system. It gets paid last. That is the mistake, because wealth is rarely built with leftover money. It is built by deciding in advance which part of your income your present self is simply not allowed to consume. Think about that. If your bank account reaches zero because your lifestyle consumed everything you earned, that's one kind of zero. But there is another kind, a deliberate zero. Every dollar was assigned before you ever had the opportunity to spend it. Bills received their share, life received its share, and your future received its share first. That is zero-based inversion. The philosophy behind it is what I call the sovereign budget. Why saving what is left usually fails. Imagine earning $5,000 this month. The normal budgeting sequence looks something like this. Income arrives, rent comes out, groceries, transport, restaurants, subscriptions, shopping, entertainment, a few things you didn't expect. And then, somewhere around the 28th of the month, you look at your account. Maybe there is $700 left, maybe $200, maybe nothing. So you save whatever remains. This feels reasonable because this is how most of us naturally think. Live first, save second. But there is a psychological problem hidden inside that system. Human beings are extraordinarily good at expanding consumption to match available resources. Give yourself a larger spending account, and somehow there are always more things worth buying. A nicer apartment, a better car, more dinners out, another subscription, a slightly more expensive holiday. None of these decisions feels disastrous individually. That's what makes them dangerous. Lifestyle inflation rarely arrives looking like financial destruction. It arrives looking like, I can afford it. And technically, you can. That's the trap. Because the real question isn't, can I afford this payment? The better question is, what future asset am I refusing to own because I chose this payment instead? That changes budgeting completely. Suddenly, the apartment upgrade isn't just an extra $600. It may also represent $600 that never reached an investment account. The car isn't simply $750 per month. It's $750 that lost the opportunity to compound. Every expense has two prices, the price you pay today and the future capital that money could have become. Once you understand that, traditional budgeting begins to look upside down. Assets get paid before lifestyle. Zero-based inversion changes one thing, the order. Instead of income, lifestyle, bills, saving whatever survives, you reverse it. Income, wealth allocation, essential obligations, lifestyle. Your future becomes the first creditor, not the last. Suppose that same $5,000 arrives. Before you start spending it, you have already decided that $1,500 belongs to wealth creation. The transfer happens automatically. You don't negotiate with yourself. You don't wait until the 30th. You don't ask whether this was an expensive month. The money simply leaves. What remains is $3,500. And psychologically, something interesting happens. Your brain stops organizing life around $5,000. It begins organizing life around $3,500. This is the inversion. You're not asking, how much can I save after maintaining my lifestyle? You're asking, what lifestyle can I maintain after funding my future? That sounds like a minor difference. It isn't. One system protects consumption, the other protects capital, and over long enough periods, those two systems can produce radically different lives. The 70/30ths framework. Here's the practical version. Think of your income as having two territories. 30% belongs to the future. 70% belongs to the present. Call it the 70/30ths framework. The moment income arrives, up to 30% is automatically directed away from your everyday spending environment. Depending on your financial position, that money might eventually go toward things such as an emergency reserve, high-interest debt reduction, retirement accounts, a diversified investment portfolio, or other long-term assets. The important idea isn't the exact financial product. The important idea is separation. Money intended to create wealth shouldn't live in the same place as money intended to buy dinner. Because when both sit inside the same account, your brain sees one number, and one number feels spendable. Separate the two, automate the transfer, then forget about it. Now comes the uncomfortable part. You live on the remaining 70%. Not because some law forces you to, because you have chosen to make wealth building a non-negotiable operating expense. Imagine treating investing the way you treat rent. You wouldn't normally say, "I spent too much this month, so perhaps I won't pay the landlord." Yet that's exactly how people often treat savings. Dinner ran high, shopping ran high, travel ran high. So the investment gets canceled. The sovereign budget reverses that hierarchy. Your future doesn't absorb your overspending. Your lifestyle does. And 30% isn't a universal magic number. For someone dealing with expensive debt, inconsistent income, dependence, or limited cash reserves, starting with 5%, 10%, or 15% may be far more realistic. The principle matters more than the percentage. Allocate first, adapt second. Don't automatically cut the future. Now imagine you try this. 30% disappears automatically, and suddenly the remaining 70 feels painfully small. Good, because something important has just become visible. Before the inversion, the problem was hidden. Your lifestyle simply expanded across your entire paycheck. Now, there's a boundary, and boundaries reveal trade-offs. You may discover you're carrying expenses you barely notice anymore. 5 streaming services, delivery several times a week, a car payment designed around status rather than transportation, a larger apartment because your income increased, subscriptions you've forgotten, impulse purchases that looked harmless one transaction at a time. Zero-based inversion forces every expense to compete for limited territory, and when 70% isn't enough, there are 3 possible responses. The first is to reduce expenses, not necessarily through miserable penny pinching. Start with large structural costs: housing, transport, debt, recurring commitments. A single major expense can matter more than 20 tiny acts of frugality. The second response is to increase income. Ask for more responsibility, build a higher value skill, negotiate compensation, create additional revenue, change jobs when appropriate. The third response is to temporarily adjust the percentage, because personal finance happens in the real world. Emergencies happen, families happen, debt happens, life happens. The sovereign budget isn't about financially punishing yourself. It's about preventing lifestyle from becoming the unquestioned owner of your income. There is an enormous difference between consciously reducing your investment rate from 30% to 15% and accidentally saving zero because you never established a rate at all. One is a decision, the other is drift. And wealth is very often the difference between those two things. Who gets the first claim on your money? There's a strange paradox about earning more money. Most people imagine that higher income will automatically create greater wealth. But income alone doesn't create wealth. Unconsumed income does. If every salary increase immediately becomes a better apartment, newer car, more expensive restaurants, upgraded holidays, and larger monthly commitments, you can earn dramatically more money without becoming dramatically wealthier. Your lifestyle simply gets richer. You don't. That is why the most powerful part of zero-based inversion has nothing to do with spreadsheets. It's about sovereignty. Who gets the first claim on the money you earn? Your present lifestyle or your future independence? The sovereign budget makes that decision before temptation enters the room. When income arrives, part of it has already been assigned. Not because you hate spending, not because enjoying money is wrong, and not because everyone should live as cheaply as possible. The goal isn't deprivation, the goal is control. You spend deliberately because you've already funded what matters. And over time, something begins to change. The investment account gets larger. The emergency reserve becomes stronger. debt becomes smaller. Your dependence on the next paycheck begins to weaken. Eventually, money stops being only something you work for. Some of it begins working alongside you. And that may be the deeper purpose of a budget, not telling you what you can't buy, but gradually building the financial position where fewer people can tell you what you have to do. So when your next paycheck arrives, don't ask, "What can I afford this month?" Ask a better question. How much of this paycheck will my future own before my lifestyle ever sees it? Because the goal isn't simply to make your account reach zero. It's to decide where every dollar went before it disappeared. And that is the inversion.